I don't yet. I did for a second, and now I don't.
If you refresh my page, you should see it there.
Okay.
And I see us. Alice made her way in. Hi, Alice. And Inge. Hello, Inge. She's one of our certified juice therapists. Nice to see you, Inge.
Awesome.
And Lori. Hello, Lori. I see you too. I'm going to just share this in the Juice Guru community too. So I'm going to refresh. Juice therapist. Nice to see you, Inge. So I've refreshed, and now I see the share button. And I'm going to share now publicly. And I'm going to share it in the Juice Guru community so everyone can tune in and not miss this phenomenal interview we have coming with Allison Rivers. I'm Steve Prusak. I'm hanging out here in Redondo Beach, California on a crisp, cool day. And Allison, where are you hanging out?
I am in Nevada City, California, near Lake Tahoe, so north of you.
Okay, so pretty much the same kind of weather, almost similar anyway.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, well now... and where are you hanging out? If you're watching on Facebook, if you're behind the scenes in the Juice Guru Rewind, type in below where you're hanging out and let us know. And let us know that you can hear us okay, because we're recording for iHeartRadio, and this goes out to lots of listeners there. We want to make sure our sound is good. So let me know. Go ahead and type in the box below, and that'll help out a lot. And I am going to go ahead and put that in the community, and there it is. And did you get to share it too?
Yep, I'm just finishing now. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yay.
Great.
This is fun.
So, right. And now I'm going to refresh. There's always when you refresh, you can hear the volume, like you can hear, but I'm going to see if any questions came in real quick. There we go.
I'm going to close mine and let you do the driving.
Okay. Okay. Well, we're going to come back for questions at the end. So if you are here and listening live, we will take questions at the end of the interview. As part of the Juice Guru Rewind, that's something you get. And behind the scenes, I see Sherry made it. Hello, Sherry. Nice to see you. And if you can just type in the chat box that you hear us okay, Sherry, that would be great. And I'll just say welcome. I think you just came on. So before we start recording live, Allison, if you want to take a breath, have some water or tea. Sherry says we sound great, so that's a good thing. We know.
Yay. Thanks, Sherry.
Right, we know it won't fall on empty ears.
Woohoo!
Okay, we're going to get started here. Awesome. Okay, and I know everything's working. We're on Facebook, and everything's great there in the Juice Guru community, and we're recording the Juice Guru Rewind if you're watching the replay. If you have any questions, you'll be able to type them in below, and I'll connect with Allison and get it answered for you if you weren't able to join live, because I know we're at a different time today, and that's okay too. Okay. So I think, Allison, are you ready to start recording for the radio now?
I'm ready. You are. I love all your orchestrations there. It's awesome.
It's a one-man job. I'm just clicking buttons, you know? But in the post, we've got Danny, and she helps us get the shows out. So I'm not doing it all.
Yay.
Okay, let's get it going now and recording. And again, we are going to take your questions at the end, so just stay tuned for that. And this episode of Juice Guru Radio is brought to you by TriBest, making healthy living easy. And my favorite juicer this year is the TriBest Elite. It's phenomenal. I use it every day. Well, every 3 days, because the juice will last you up to 3 days. I just make it in batches, put it in the refrigerator, and I'm good to go for 3 days. Find out more about it at juiceguru.com. Hello and welcome. Welcome to another edition of Juice Guru Radio. I'm your host, Steve Prusak, and it's great to be with you. And today, we've got Allison Rivers Samson. She's a self-care coach, speaker, and workshop leader who helps women make room for themselves, turn workouts into personal playdates, and makes healthy eating feel indulgent. And we're going to hear more about her and how I'm connected to her right after this. So stay tuned for our episode with Allison Rivers Samson. Hello and welcome back to Juice Guru Radio. I'm your host, Steve. We've got Allison Rivers Samson. I said she's a self-care coach, speaker, workout leader, workshop leader, and certified plant-based nutrition coach from Cornell University. Received her training as a health and wellness coach through the Institute for Integrative Nutrition. And as I was saying, I know her for 20 years. She ran Allison's Gourmet, the first online vegan bakery and chocolatier. I can't believe it was 20 years ago, but I was definitely in on that scene back then in those transition foods, and she was my source. She was my lifeline to those delicious foods. And she retired that in 2016. She's also an award-winning vegan chef and author of Quick and Easy, Do-It-Yourself, Salad Bar, Comfortably Yum, and the Dairy Freedom Cookbook. She's a black belt instructor, mama to lifelong vegan Olivia, and co-creator of the Dairy Detox. Let's welcome to Juice Guru Radio right now, Allison Rivers Samson.
Hi, thank you. So happy to be here, Steve.
Well, thank you, Allison. Thank you for joining. And gosh, we go way back, so I'm really excited to have you on the show today.
We do.
So how did you go from being a vegan chef? You had the most successful vegan bakery online. I mean, back when, really a pioneer in it. And those comfort foods were just so important for us that were, new to veganism and trying to eat more plant-based or whatever it was. How did you go from that to being a self-care coach?
Well, I became a mom and everything changed. I realized that I needed to be, while it was great to be feeding myself with healthy food, I needed to feed myself with more than that. And I loved giving that to all of my wonderful customers and clients of Allison's Gourmet. And now it's like, I have so much more for you than food. So I want to feed you and help you live your life sustainably and happily.
So what do you mean when you say self-care? And I know this is something that a lot of people don't think about, or it's just sometimes we put ourselves on the back burner. We're so busy.
Sometimes, yes. Some of us more than others, right? Yeah, self-care is the way that I describe it, the most easy way to understand. Self-care is what makes it so that we can give the world the best of us instead of what's left of us. And what I mean by that is when we are giving, so many of us are givers. Maybe we're not so good at giving to ourselves. And what happens is we end up depleted, and then all these amazing things we're doing in the world, these great relationships, fantastic initiatives, and really purpose-driven things that we're doing, they suffer because we're not full. We're not giving from a place of fullness. And I want us to all be able to integrate easy, simple self-care strategies into our daily lives so that it doesn't have to be a two-week trip to Tahiti every year. And in fact, I don't even consider that quite self-care. And the reason is that what happens before we go on vacation? We're running around, getting ready to go. Then we go on vacation and practically collapse. And maybe at the end, we start really enjoying it. Then we get home and we're running around to catch up with everything that we, had to put on hold. So a much more sustainable strategy is to weave it into the daily life.
Right. And you talk about your holistic self-care principles. I know you've got 8 of them, and you're going to share some of us right here on the show, right?
I am. Absolutely.
So let's dive right into that. So what are some of the things we could be doing to take better care of ourselves? And is this just for wealthy people, or can anyone do it?
Well, the self-care practices that I recommend, pretty much they're all free. So you don't need to be wealthy to do them. And a lot of them are things that you're already doing. And what I advocate for is small tweaks to the things that we're already doing so that we are living better lives. For example, sleep. We're all already sleeping, hopefully, right? And so how can we be better with our sleep? And one of the ways that I think we need to start is by knowing our sleep number, which has nothing to do with those mattress ads, right? It's about how many hours do you need to sleep at night? And most of us are between 7 and 9. And if we allow ourselves to go to bed at a reasonable hour and naturally wake up without an alarm, without some kind of prompt, that's how we know how many hours we really need. If we're using an alarm, we're probably not getting enough sleep. Have you found that, Steve?
I'm trying to, you say that, I'm trying to think. I'm like, yeah, I don't set an alarm. I just kind of, I get enough sleep, so I can say that. Yeah. That's one thing. And it's not every night, though.
Yeah, right. Of course. Do you know what your sleep number is?
My sleep number is 8.
Yeah, mine too. I'm right in the middle. And, some people try to be all like, oh, I only need 5 or 6 hours. And, I don't really know anyone who that is really, really true for. Maybe it is possible, but I would fall back to, how are you waking up? How do you feel when you wake up? And how are you getting through your day? Are you drinking caffeine? Are you eating sugar? Are you grabbing for those, less health supporting snack foods in the afternoon? Because a lot of times those kinds of cravings come up when really we're not hungry, we're tired, and we're fighting that. So most people don't realize that that's actually a sign of being tired.
Well, what about napping? What do you think about, because I know that's a big wellness movement now, and I'm hearing about other countries have nap stations for their employees and things like that. And it's not really taken off here in the United States. Actually, I saw it on Shark Tank the other day. You know that show for entrepreneurs, Shark Tank? I don't know if you've seen that. And so they were trying to pitch this idea about a nap center, and the sharks didn't think we're ready for it here in the States. What do you think about napping?
Yeah, our culture is really, we have a lot of cultural messages that we need to kind of disentangle from. And I think that napping is fantastic. And I think that napping is not as finite as we think that it is. So what I mean by that is we don't have to actually sleep. So there is, the science shows that all we need to do is get horizontal, and our parasympathetic nervous system will switch on. And so even if all you can do is lie down for 10 minutes, you don't have to fall asleep, that will help reset your parasympathetic nervous system, which is the one that's responsible for our calm, that, kind of even keel, temperate mood that we can have. So having that set point brought back is really, really helpful in the middle of the day. And sometimes I do a meditation called Vedic meditation, which is kind of like transcendental meditation, where it's mantra based. And sometimes what happens when I'm doing my afternoon meditation, which is only 20 minutes in this style, I'll fall asleep. And that tells me I'm too tired, and I'll stop the meditation and lie down, because that's what I'm needing more than the meditation.
I just fell asleep. Would you? What would you say? I missed that last part. No, so that's the first thing is sleep. What would the next principle be?
Well, part of sleep is one of the things that I love about it so much is that we have infinite opportunities to practice it. We get to do it every single night. So if tonight I don't get enough sleep, I can get more sleep tomorrow night. And I can check in with myself in the morning, and I can say, well, how did I do? And what do I need to tweak and change to do better tonight? And that leads into my second one, which is self-talk. And it's that voice inside our heads. And I ask, is that voice a bully or a bestie? And are you being kind and loving to yourself, or are you trying to beat yourself into doing something that's good for you? And that can come up really, that it's a great way to practice it around sleep. So you can wake up and say, oh, you didn't get enough sleep. Rah, rah, rah. Or you can say, oh, okay, well, that one didn't work. And I like to think of it as research. I'm doing research. What works, what doesn't work. And from that, it's information. That's all it is. We don't need to judge it. We don't need to be harsh to ourselves. We can just say, what can I do better next time? What's a new thing I can research? How does this work? So being gentle with ourselves is so important.
So now you're going to share one more with us, and then we're going to move into something else. And I know food is something that we're thinking about, like what we're putting in our body, how important that is.
Absolutely. And so the next one is consumption. So it's, what are we taking in? And, a lot of times we think about consumption as food, and food is a very important part. It's what are we drinking? What are we eating? What are we taking in? And also media. What are we taking in from media? Whether it's social media or movies or TV or magazines, what are the messages that we're taking in? For example, what you're putting out in the world, Steve, is positive, uplifting. It's speaking to the highest self of the people listening. That is something really beneficial to have in your life. A lot of times the things that are out there aren't really about that. They're intended to make us feel bad about ourselves so that we'll spend money on deodorant or makeup or, something. Not that I don't think we should have deodorant, but, there are things that they're telling us there's something wrong with us and we need to buy something to make ourselves better, appearance-wise, that kind of thing. And those things really tear us down, and they're not life-supporting, health-supporting, positivity-supporting.
Yeah, that's interesting. So that's something you could really tune into. So the blinders are off. You can't be manipulated because they've got some pretty tricky techniques on how they'll get this to you, won't they?
It's true. And I really think I saw a bumper sticker once that was brilliant. It said, "Who is profiting from your self-loathing? Who is profiting from your self-loathing?"
Yeah, that sounds like something you'll see in Seattle.
Right. Well, I used to live there, as you know.
Right.
So I think you could probably have that in California too, right?
Yeah, I love that. So what made you switch? So with helping people get off dairy, like what are you seeing with people limiting dairy? On our show, we talk about getting that juice in your body, and we talk about eating more plant-based foods and things like that. And what do we know about dairy, and why has that become a focus for you?
Well, as a mother, I had a whole new awakening. I was already vegan. My daughter's 11. I've been vegan for 21 years. And when I had her, I had this whole new awakening. And it happened one day when I was nursing her, and when she was really young, just, maybe a few days old. And everything was perfect in that moment. Like the room temperature was perfect. We were in sync, and the weather was beautiful. The light was coming in just so amazingly. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, I just had this whole wash over my body of grief. And I thought to myself, what is going on here? Everything is so perfect here. How could I possibly be feeling this in this moment? And it hit me that I wasn't feeling my own personal grief. I was experiencing the grief for all the mothers who didn't have this experience, all the cows who weren't able to bond with their babies. And it just hit me in such a new way. And I realized, wow, this is a really important piece of the puzzle that we need to look at, that drinking cow's milk or drinking animal's milk has become so normalized in our culture, and it is so not normal. I mean, most people think if I offered somebody a latte made with human's breast milk, they would probably think I was crazy, right? Well,
I don't know. I've seen everything these days. These days I've seen everything. Like people, yeah. I mean, it just seems people will eat anything. I've seen it all. Fungus, worms, cockroaches, they're grounding up and calling it protein now. And it's amazing, isn't it?
Amazing is one word for it. Yes, that's very generous.
Is it the right word? Give me the word. I know you've got it. You're a wordsmith.
Well, I would call it vile. And desperate and perhaps uneducated. So really most people would recoil at the thought of drinking a rat's milk, a cat's milk, dog's milk, pig's milk, but cow's milk, yeah, sure, makes perfect sense. And the only reason is because the dairy lobby spends over $1 billion a year, every year in the US alone, to make us think that drinking cow's milk is normal, healthy, and even wholesome. And it's just the farthest from the truth. And I really wanted to help people. You've been vegan for a long time. How many people have said to you, I could never live without cheese? Like you're some kind of saint because you can, right?
Well, back in those days, they didn't have the amazing vegan cheeses they have now. I can't believe what's out there now. I mean, there's really no reason to not be able to eliminate dairy because the replacements are phenomenal.
I absolutely agree. I tell people now, if ever there was a time, it is now. I mean, back in the day, 21 years ago, we were suffering. I mean, we had powdered soy milk. This stuff was nasty. And that was kind of all we had. And, our ice cream was like this icy rice-based thing. And, it wasn't really that great. So if I could survive through that, being the food snob that I am, anybody could be vegan today.
I say the same thing. It kind of comes back to what you're saying with the manipulation and the advertising and the money that's involved. And the funniest thing, the irony you can say in saying milk is a natural, right? Wasn't that always the dairy
that was one of them.
And when you think of the vision, I know you probably have seen that bumper sticker with the man on the cow's breast drinking the milk, and it says milk is a natural with a question mark.
Yes.
So is it really a natural? And how are they able to manipulate, and how is it that they're not shutting me down right now? Because there's a lot of money involved in getting this kind of information out there. There's a lot of money that goes against, what happened to Oprah.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, and I think that, did you know that Got Milk, of course, we all know that campaign. Did you know that it's one of the most successful ad campaigns of all time?
Wow.
And guess who owns the copyright? The U.S. government.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So it's about how, the FDA is all intertwined, and I'll leave it at that so that you don't get shut down.
Yeah. Let's just know that. Let's just talk about some of the benefits if we're going to give up dairy, because now we've really hit people over the head. But from a health standpoint, what are some of the things that people might experience?
Well, a lot of people don't realize that dairy is one of the top allergens, and it's inflammatory. So it's no wonder that we have problems when we consume dairy. It causes acne, eczema, arthritis, congestion, asthma, earaches, migraines, irritable bowel syndrome. I mean, all kinds of things. So if you just imagine taking this thing out of your diet, you can replace it with amazing other options, and all of that is just relieved from you. It's really incredible how dairy is so high in cholesterol, saturated fats, and sugars that it actually fuels heart disease, obesity, diabetes, and even cancer, because it is a growth formula that grows whoever's eating it. That's what every mammal's milk is, growth formula for their babies. And it's meant to be consumed during the growing years. If you don't want to be physically growing, then maybe don't drink growth formula or eat it.
And I know you've got that dairy detox. What's your website for our listeners to tune in? And I want to, after we talk about that, I want to share with everyone what I'm really excited about too is what you've figured out and dialed in to create our own salad bar in our kitchen. And I want to implement that. So what's the best way to get a hold of you?
So my website is AllisonRiversSamson.com. And if you're interested in the dairy detox, that's just thedairydetox.com.
Okay, we'll have links.
Yeah.
I'll give you guys links below the show notes. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, go to Juice Guru Radio under this show and you'll find it. As a subscriber, you'll find it there. So that's fine. I'm really excited about this offer you've got for our audience, though. We've got something really valuable, a $50 thing that you're giving away for just $5. And it's something that allows us to create our own salad bar in our kitchen. And I'm going to get it right after we do the interview, because I want to start planning after my juice cleanse how I'm going to set this up. What exactly is this?
Yeah. So in our family, we at least one meal a day is a huge salad. It's often lunch. And one of the things that I have heard from my coaching clients so much is how they want to eat more vegetables, but they don't have the time for all the chopping, slicing, dicing, everything that it takes to interact with vegetables. And so I developed this myself, the DIY salad bar, and it's using your food processor. And there's a really easy way to do it where you can spend under an hour a week preparing all of your vegetables. And then each day when you make a salad, it takes like 3 minutes and you just, and you're done. So.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah. In this guide, there's a little ebook that you get. That's a guide telling you, which vegetables to do which ones to slice, which ones to shred, how long each thing keeps, my favorite methods for storage. And you'll see a beautiful photo of my refrigerator. And I love organization. And so you'll be able to see that just in that photo. You'll be like, wow, okay, yeah, she likes organization. But that visual appeal is what brings me back to plants all the time. And that's what brings us all back to plants. I mean, with all the different, theories about diet, the one thing everybody agrees upon is that plants are the answer. And they're beautiful and enticing. And that tells us, yes, eat me. And also in the guide is a video, a very short video that you can look at and I'll zip through and show you exactly how to do it.
So, and it's normally a $50 product. It's for our audience for $5. It's killing me to hear this because I'm on the global juice fast right now and I haven't had food in 4 days. So, and it's not, and if you do want to cleanse, that's open to you guys too at globaljuicefast.com. Even if you are late to the party, we've got everything for you free. That's completely free. So I'm going to go ahead and put the link for the do-it-yourself, the DIY. Let me just put it here. Actually, do you have it, Allison? Can you put that in the box? Because since we restarted the webinar, it doesn't let me paste it.
Oh dear.
So I'm gonna
let me find it.
Okay, so Allison's going to while she's doing that, she's going to get that in the box for you. And if you're listening on Juice Guru Radio, just go to the website and under the show with Allison Rivers Samson, you'll find that. Or send us an email at support@juiceguru.com. We'll send you a link to it. And if you're on Facebook, we're going to paste it there too. So don't worry about that. And in the meantime, if you have any questions at all for Allison, go ahead and type them in the box now. If you're on the rewind, you can come on video with us live if you want. I see Mara Lee's here. I know, Mara Lee, you're on the Global Juice Fast. I hope you're feeling good too. And there it is in the box. There's the link for you guys. And I'm going to go ahead and put that in Facebook. But if you're watching if you're in the Juice Guru community and you're on Facebook, go ahead and type in your questions. We've got lots of people tuning in right now. I see Kelly and Sid, Leslie, hello. Bubba from high school, hey there.
Hey.
And Donna from college. I see all my old friends there. Peter's here. Ray Sakura's here, Allison.
Ray! Hi.
Love her, says, love her.
Love you.
Love going out to Allison Rivers Samson right there. David's here, and Stephanie, and Jeff, and Dirk. If you guys have any other questions, if you have any questions about typing, I'm going to go ahead and put in the box the link to this special offer for you so you can set up your own salad bar. And I love this idea because I find I eat out way too much. It's just sometimes I don't have the time to make a salad. I want a good salad. I'll go to Stuff I Eat over there in LA, and they'll make my salad for me. I'd rather just be set up for the week. That's what it's all about, right, Allison? It's all about planning it out.
Absolutely. If you set yourself up for success, you'll succeed.
Well, isn't that what they say? And I'm going to put the link also in the Juice Guru community, where we're also broadcasting live in there. So you guys have the link. And I'm not seeing any questions. So if we're not going to get any questions, we're going to close out soon. But if you do have a question, go ahead and put them in the box now so we can get it for you. And if not, we're going to get ready to close the show. So I'm going to check one more time on my page to see, because there is that delay on Facebook. And let me see here. No, I'm not seeing any questions just yet. So I'll tell you what, if anything comes in after, we'll be sure to answer them for you. We'll get in touch with Allison and get it answered for you. And if you're watching the replay on juicegururewind.com, we'll get it answered for you. Just type in the video below and we'll be able to get that. So once again, we want to thank our guest, Allison Rivers Samson, for being here on Juice Guru Radio. Allison, anything to say in closing about holistic healthcare, how we can treat ourselves better, or anything that we didn't touch on during the interview that you wanted to share with our audience?
I just really want people to know that self-care is not about being selfish. It's about giving the world the best of us instead of what's left of us. And if you think of taking care of yourself as an act of generosity with the ability to give generously, be sustainable in your giving, and give without resentment, giving from a place of full, then you'll see just how kind you are to be to everyone else when you give to yourself. You're better to be with.
Again, it's Allison Rivers Samson right here on Juice Guru Radio. I'm Steve Prusak, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thank you, Allison. That was phenomenal, as always. Oh, as always, I should say, it's just really nice to see you in this role. So thank you for sharing your gifts with the world.
Thank you. Thank you so much for helping me, inviting me to your platform. I'm just kind of over here in awe of your like.
Yeah, you kind of know what's involved in all that.
I do, and I have failed at a lot of it. It's a lot.
It's practice. It takes a long time. Believe me, I've messed up lots. Thank you again, Allison, and we'll be in touch. We'll share the link with you for the show when we send it out on iHeartRadio so you can share it with your amazing people. And maybe we'll see you at the fest this year. We'll see. Yeah,
which one?
Well, I don't know. The Veggie Fest over in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Summerfest. Yes. Yeah. Do you go to Veg Fest in LA?
I should. I haven't been there in a couple of years. I mean, I used to go when it was World Fest, and I was I knew some of the people putting it on, but I haven't been there in a while. Are you going?
I think so. Yeah, and I might be speaking there. I'm waiting to hear from them on that. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, keep up the great work.
Thank you so much. So good to see you.
Thank you. Bye, Allison. Bye, everyone who's watching. And if you're on the cleanse, I'll see you tomorrow. We're going to be doing a live demo from my kitchen as part of the Global Juice Fast. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to show you our template recipe. I'm going to show you how to make almond milk really quick and easy. And we're going to talk about breaking the fast. So stay tuned for that if you're part of the Global Juice Fast. And much love. Bye, guys.